Okay, so now I'm going to turn it over to Sydney, and she's going to talk all about creating a vision for 2020. But first, I really want her to kind of give you guys a background on her story as well.
Okay. You can hear me fine? Okay, perfect. Well, my name is Sydney, for those of you that I don't know, but let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna try to give a brief synopsis because I could talk about this, how I got into this forever, but basically last December, so it's actually a year now, I met Ashley on Instagram. I don't remember, you probably started following me. I don't know, maybe it was me. Yeah, and anyway, and so it just started kind of following along on her journey. And at that time, I'm Canadian, and I had moved to America to do my undergrad. So I did 4 years of school, got a job, ended up losing my job teaching, and so I wasn't allowed in America. I could visit. So anyway, go back to visit, and I'm doing a certification, meet my husband. Well, I had known him, but got to know my husband more, ended up getting married, and then we're applying for a green card, and that didn't work out as planned. So all of a sudden we're like married, and I'm not allowed to be in America anymore. And so it was kind of like all the things leading up to that. Like I had so many other examples of like, okay, when things fail, God always has a better plan. Because it's like when my job, so I was teaching at a middle school and high school, but like when I lost my job initially, like it was devastating. And I remember just like, God, I just loved my students. They had moderate to severe special needs. And I was also coaching the girls basketball team. So I had like two different kind of like pools of kids, but like they just adored me and I adored them. And just like, almost on the daily, kids like, Miss Carmichael, my old name, Miss Carmichael, like, you're the only person that actually believes in me. Like, oh, coach, you're the only person that like actually loves me and listens to me. And like, it was so much more about those relationships and like helping them just in life than it was actually teaching. Anyway, so fast forward, and I'd always wanted to be a teacher my whole life. Fast forward, lose my job. I have 2 weeks to leave the country, and I'm like devastated. And I was sitting in a meeting. I didn't plan on sharing this whole thing, but I guess that's important. I was sitting in a meeting. It was like a retirement meeting for one of the other teachers that had spent like 40 something years there. Anyway, she wasn't, well, this is being recorded. She was like a miserable person. And like, so we were celebrating her retirement, but it was honestly like, I don't know, it was really sad. And I remember like this song, sometimes God speaks to me in songs, but this song starts playing in my head, Sweet Escape by Gwen Stefani. And so like all of a sudden, I don't know if you know the song, but all of a sudden in my head is like Sweet Escape. And I felt like God was saying like, Sydney, this is your escape. Like you think this is sad, but like I'm literally taking you out of this situation. And so in the moment I couldn't see, but anyway, long story short, I ended up moving back to Virginia, and I'm doing an equine therapy training program. But had I not moved, so I was in a different city, but had I not moved, that's where I got reconnected with my husband. And so who knows, but I probably wouldn't even be married right now, to him anyway. And so, yeah, it's just like, then I'm so thankful, like so grateful that that happened because that led me into something even better. So all that to say, the same thing kind of happened again so we get married, all is well, like I'm applying for my green card, and then all of a sudden things get messy and confusing and the lawyers aren't telling us the truth or what we understood. And all of a sudden, my husband doesn't even have a passport at this point. I have to leave the country. So we're married 1 month. He stays in America. I go back to Canada. I think I cried myself to sleep pretty much every night. Like it was horrible. And so we were kind of like, okay, we can't do this. He quit his job. So he was doing his like 2 weeks notice. I was in Canada, like we were just trying to make a plan to like be together. And long story short, we had a friend in London that was like, do you guys want to come to London? Like I have a place you can stay for free in my flat. And so we're like, well, okay. And so anyway, we ended up moving to London together, and yeah, we didn't have that much money and we didn't have jobs. So, but it was on faith, and like God made a way. He provided all the money to get there. And so, but now we're there and we're like what do we do now? Like, we're in love and we're together, but like, I was used to being so fulfilled. Like, I was used to loving my job, like loving it. And now all of a sudden I had saw an ad on Facebook for like teaching online. So we were both teaching online, but it was not the same for me as teaching, like, because there was no connection. It was just like repeating stuff, and like I never even taught English. And I went to French school my whole life, so I only learned English in 3rd grade. So now I'm teaching like grammar, which I never learned grammar. I just learned like speaking English. So anyway, all that to say, I'm like not really fulfilled in my job. Yeah, I am fluent in French. I went to a French school. So yeah, and Canada, there's like whole communities near me that only speak French, but my parents were English, so I do both. But anyway, so yeah, I'm in London. We don't have that much like extra money. It's so expensive to like go to gym. So like and I was always really fit my whole life and just loved working out, played sports. Basketball was my thing. Anyway, so like I'm trying to do like little home circuit workouts and they're not working. And now all of a sudden, so I'm from really Montreal. So I'm from Nova Scotia, so I'm from an island that's a part of Nova Scotia called Cape Breton Island, but you probably haven't heard of it because it's literally like a speck on the map. But okay, now I can see the comments. Where was I? Oh, London, can't go to the gym. So I started following Ashley. She's doing all these at-home fitness programs. She's like sharing about how she's like impacting people. And so at this point, I'm already working online. And so I'm praying, literally, God, I don't want to do this teaching thing. Like, you need to provide something else. And then simultaneously, I'm married and I'm like cooking all this food to like, because my husband he likes healthy food, but he likes non-healthy food too, where I never even bought unhealthy food before. So now all of a sudden I have all this unhealthy food in, in the house. And anyway, so my body was just changing, not in the way that like I wanted it to change. So I wasn't feeling very confident. I was feeling kind of lost. We were like separated from all our community, both of our families. We literally just knew this one guy, but we didn't really know him very well. And so it was just like culture shock, and like we found a church and some friends, but for the most part, it was just like the two of us. And so started working out. I started with Insanity Max 30. So brutal, but like I loved it. I loved the discipline of it, and I loved just being able to do it from home, and it just made me feel so good. And I wanted Shakeology, so this is a whole nother story. I'll try to be short, but I have I got a parasite when I was in Africa when I was 17. So I have 5 adopted siblings, so there's 9 kids in my family. The 5 youngest are adopted, but I went to Africa with my mom to get my baby brother, Duncan. And I caught a parasite and like literally pooped up blood for a year. No one could figure out anything. Feeling so uncomfortable and sick and embarrassed. And eventually I got on some medicine, but after that I couldn't go at all. Like once a week maybe, but just like, it was just so hard. Tried things like coffee and exercise and water and like dietary, like eliminating different food groups and dairy, but all that to say, for 7 years, I was dealing with these digestive issues that I was trying all these supplements and couldn't figure it out. So I had heard, so now I'm hearing about Shakeology, and I'm hearing different people's testimonies, and then several different people like talking about how they don't have symptoms, maybe not healed, but they don't have symptoms anymore of their dietary issues. So now I'm already a believer in Shakeology, even though I couldn't get it in the UK, even though, anyway, complicated, but I couldn't figure out how to get it shipped there. And so I was like such a believer and like so excited to try this and get my hands on this. But all that to say, I'm hearing about all this and I'm like loving this coaching thing. And then Ashley, like maybe a month or so later, she's like, you'd be amazing as a coach. Have you thought about it? I think I said no. Or in my head, I said no. I don't know if I physically said no, but I was like, absolutely not. Like, I can't. I had deleted my Instagram for 2 years because I didn't have space on my phone. Like, I hardly posted, wasn't I don't know, wasn't really active and didn't really want to share my like private life. And but then I was like praying about it. I was like, okay, at least I'll pray about it. And then I felt like very clearly that God said, like, Sidney, you asked me for a way out. You asked me for a way to use your passion. You asked me for a way to influence people. You asked me for a way to feel fulfilled like you used to. And then after that, so then I was thinking, okay, well, what are my reasons not to? And they were all fear-based. They were all just self-conscious, fear of failure, fear of what people will say, fear of, just not achieving my goals and like putting myself out there. And then, anyway, so lots of fear, but then I just felt so strongly that God was saying like, this is what I have for you. And it was perfect. So at that time we had moved to Albania and we're living in this like communist country. Well, it's post-communism, so it's not anymore, but it feels communist. Just anyway, no one speaks English. Well, very few people speak English. And so that was just a whole nother, so that's where I became a coach in Albania. And it's weird that that's my story now, and I became a coach in such the most random country in the world. But so that was kind of the start of my journey, started just sharing, and it's just been such a process. We've had so many transitions, like we were there for 3 months, then moved to Greece for 3 months. And then back in July, we came back to America and we're here now. Green card things seem to be working out, so praising God. But so hopefully we'll be here for good, at least for like living here for good. But so that's kind of when I started. I felt like God was leading me to start my own challenge group, like right away pretty much. And at that point, I only had 2 people in it when I started. So now I think I have 10. So it's just like cool how God has like grown it one by one, but like what means so much more is like God has just been teaching me so much that this is so much more, a bigger picture is going on than what I can see. And like my dreams are so small to him. And like, I think that I'm reaching out to like try to help someone with a fitness program. They're struggling with suicide and depression. And like, little do I know that like my just love and being present is like healing them from all this emotional stuff that they're going through, that a lot of times they just need someone to listen. They just need someone to love, someone to believe in them. And like, I have like several specific people like in mind that were just in like deep, deep depression. And like, I didn't know that I was reaching out. I didn't know they were in that season when I reached out to them. But like months later, they're telling me like, Sidney, you had no idea. Like I wanted to kill myself. Like, and just waking up and doing a workout. And I'm like in the coffee shop crying, like, wow, this is not about me. Like, this is about like who God wants to touch. And like also been learning, this is not what I plan to talk about, but also been learning that like when I be who God made me to be, and like the more vulnerable that I am, the more that God's going to bring the people that need what I have, and going to attract the people that can receive from me. Even if I'm saying the same thing as another coach, maybe it's God has a reason for us specifically, and there's specific people, I believe, that God has for us to connect with. And so, it's been like a journey of like ups and downs and discouragement, but like Ashley was saying, like personal development has been like such a huge role. And like God has always been like a huge part of my life, but ever since college, like I think I just like was boycotting books because I was done reading, because I was just like traumatized by all the reading. And I didn't even read one book since college besides the Bible, not one. And so then Ashley had sent me Girl Wash Your Face when I became a coach, which kind of spurred me on to, oh my goodness, like it's $7 or $10 for someone's life knowledge. Their life lessons is in one book for $7, and we don't value it enough to listen to it when we're driving, or like, I don't know, it was just kind of blowing my mind. Like there's all these gold nuggets that are out there, and if we just go and take it, we can benefit from it. And if not, it's just there, and like we're not, I don't know, seeing it as gold. And so one of the words that back when I was in college that like when I was just praying about what God would have for my life, like I felt like he spoke this to me, and then he spoke it to me through other people too, but just like that my life calling is to like take what the world says is trash and I call it as a treasure, and just seeing things from his perspective, seeing the gold in people. And that's kind of something that I've always been really like passionate about, because like a goal of mine, like you can't see it from the outside that there's gold in there, but it's like all you need to do is do some digging and like it's there, and like there's gold in every single person. So yeah, but it's cool how like I didn't know coaching was what I needed, and I didn't know that it would be something that I loved, but like God knew. And even though it was so intimidating to me, like God was above all that and saying like, and now I love it. Like I love it more than I love teaching, and I loved teaching. And so I'm just like, wow. And there's so much freedom. I'm home with my husband. It's just all around better. Like I used to teach for 12 hours a day because I was coaching. So I would leave at 6 in the morning. And then sometimes I'd only be back at like 6 o'clock at night, or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. And so now I'm like teaching online still, but like working this business. And anyway, so many dreams, but I should probably get to what I'm on this call to talk to you about, which is vision. And so, yeah, this is something that I have been learning so much. And so I'm just like really privileged that I get to like share a little bit about this. And so I kind of wanted to start with just thinking about it from like a broad perspective, and like that, okay, who are we? Like, I believe anyway, that we are created by God. And so thinking of God, okay, why is vision important? So thinking first, okay, who is God? He is a creator. Like that is who he is. And like when the world began, it was just God. And so I had spoke before, like on a team call a while back, about just the power of our words. But God has been transforming that from not only the power of our words, but like words come from our imagination. And so our thoughts. So our thoughts become our words. And so it's even crazier to think that, okay, God is a God of vision. God is a God of imagination, because before he could ever create something, he thought it up. He didn't just speak and it just like random, like maybe something will happen if I say something. Like, no, he had a specific idea when he was like creating the world. And so it's just like so incredible to think, okay, we are made in the image and likeness of God. And so God, his creative power is his imagination. And then after imagination, his words. And so, okay, we are created in the image and likeness of God. So our creative ability, the way that we produce something is number one, our imagination. And then when we have our imagination, when we have a vision, then it goes to our words. And so then when we speak that vision out, there is so much power in that, because God, that's what he designed us for. Like that's literally how we were. It's like our imagination. I was listening to a sermon, and it's like conception. So it's like, okay, y'all know, actually you're pregnant, Tiffany just had a baby. It's like, you can't expect to have a baby if there's no conception. You can't expect to have a dream come true if there's no conception of that dream, if there's no visualization of that dream. If you have no idea what you want, you just want to be successful, or you want to be fit, or you want to have good relationships, or, but if you can't picture that with your eyes, if you can't see it in your head, there's no conception, you don't know what you want. And so that's why we're doing this. That's why vision is so important. And that's why our imagination is the foundation of all that. And there's so much power in our imagination. And so just realizing oh my goodness, our thoughts can create our reality. And so anyway, I have this question written down, how do we create the life of our dreams? It starts in our imagination. It starts having vision. And vision is seeing something but you can't see, that hasn't come to fruition yet. So that's what we're talking about. And just looking at my notes because I'm probably going off track. But so yeah, you were designed to have the ability to create through your imagination, visualizing the promise or the outcome that you desire, and then believing in it until it manifests. and acting upon it until it manifests. And so it's so crazy. I was getting so much revelation as I was like even studying this, because what is faith? Okay, I'm going to read you the definition. It's the assurance or confidence of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. So that's what faith is. Faith is believing in your imagination. So what is hope? Like hope is the imagination. And so even there's a verse that I was looking at the definition in scripture, and the Greek word of hope was translated to imagination. Just like, wow, that's really cool. And yeah, so let me see. So yeah, hope is the positive imagination, and faith is the strong belief in that imagination. And so faith is the conviction, and it's the action that follows that that belief in yourself. So I'm going to give you some examples, and then we're going to get into creating this for ourselves. But in Hebrews 11, I've heard people call it like the Hall of Faith, like in a Hall of Fame. But it's so crazy because like God kind of recounts a bunch of different circumstances in the Bible, and he says faith produced this. Okay, and if we know the actual story, we're like, faith didn't produce that, like blah 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 produced that. But in God's view, faith created that. And so I'm going to read you, so the verse a little bit before says, without faith it's impossible to please God. And then another verse says in the Old Testament says, without vision the people perish. So if like God made us to have vision, and without vision, we're just going to be like a hamster on a treadmill going nowhere. If we're like trying to build a house and like we don't know what we want the house to look like, we're going to waste so much money, but we're working on it every day, but we have no vision. There's no architectural plans. We're going to spend way too much money on flooring when we don't even know the dimensions of the floor. We're going to like buy the knobs to the counter before we buy the counter. Like, it'll just be a jumbled mess if we don't have a vision, if there's no plan, if there's no architectural design. Yeah, wandering around aimlessly. So that's why we need vision, and God made us to have vision, and without vision, we're lost. And like, there's another quote that says, all men die, but not all men truly live. And so like, I believe that truly living is knowing your vision, having a purpose in mind, and not just wandering around aimlessly. And so this is in Hebrews 11. I'm just going to read a couple of the bullet points. It says, by faith, people crossed the Red Sea on dry land. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell. By faith, they conquered kingdoms, enforced justice. By faith, they obtained promises. So that's crazy. Like, God has given us promises and of like our future and of things that we are to accomplish. How did they accomplish that? By faith. So what is faith? It's having a confident expectation in your imagination, in your vision. So like, hope is your imagination, which is your vision. And then faith is the confident assurance. It's the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things unseen. So it is a strong conviction in my hope. And so faith is believing in what you cannot see yet. And then God says that by faith, the people obtained their promises. Like the walls of Jericho, you know, that story when they fell down, they walked around the wall 7 times. Like by faith, their belief and confident expectation in the promises of God made those walls fall. So anyway, there's supernatural power in this vision and faith stuff. So it's like, we've got to tune into it because like, that's how God made it to be. But yeah, by faith, they stopped the mouth of lions. By faith, they quenched the power of fire. They escaped the edge of the sword, were made strong out of weakness. By faith, we became mighty in war. They put foreign armies to flight. Women received back their dead through resurrection. Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out and received his promise after testing. And then Sarah herself received power to conceive. And I was just thinking like, oh my goodness, like the story of Abraham and Sarah, like she was well past the age of like childbirth. And like it says, by faith, by believing in the vision, in the promise, she received that power to conceive. So anyway, it's just wild what faith will do. And that's how God wants us to live, with a clear vision, and then faith, which is the belief and the action. Like they stepped out in faith and walked around that wall. That was like putting it feet, work boots on that dream. Like I think Rachel Hollis says that. Work boots on that dream is like what a goal is. And so, yeah, let's see. So yeah, so basically what I'm gonna do right now, hopefully you all have some paper. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because I'm sure, even like the general population, like very few people have goals, but I'm sure you guys all have goals written down already. But hopefully some of these questions will prompt you to maybe think about something in a different way, or to like clarify your goals, or or maybe this is new and I don't know who's listening to this. So, or maybe this is new and this might be the first time that you are creating a vision, and like this vision is so much bigger. This is not a business vision time or a fitness vision time. Like this is a life vision time, and all those categories are included, but it's like this is so much bigger than us. So like we need to dream. God is going to surpass our expectations and our dreams. So we got to dream as big as we possibly can, knowing that He is going to exceed those anyway. So yeah, if you don't have a paper and pencil, I'm going to just read the question and then give you guys like a minute or so to like write stuff down. And maybe I'll just get, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. How much time, Ashley, should I aim for?
Honestly, I'm good with whatever, but just, I would say like, don't give us too much time to write it down.
Okay.
But enough where we could even put it in the chat too.
Yeah, maybe we'll just do chat, and that might keep it moving.
Yeah, like give it like 30 seconds in between, and we can start.
Okay.
Or enough to like write it down.
Yeah. Okay, so the way that this is going to be organized, I'm going to ask you guys a series of kind of big picture questions, and I don't want you to think too much about the answers. The first thing that comes to mind, just like jot it down. It doesn't have to be pretty or in a sentence or anything. And then after we go through like these big vision things, then we'll write some more specific goals in different categories, and then then we'll go from there. So so the question number 1, at the end of your life, how do you want to be remembered? What do you want people to say about you? So for me, I want people to know that I loved well, that I completed what I was meant to, that I like valued every single person that was put into my path, and I called out that gold and the greatness in them. So yeah, if any of you guys want to share. Yeah, that's good. I want to know I positively impacted, helped them in some way.
I'm on my phone right now, so I'm not going to type it, but mine is I want to be known as being devoted and genuine.
I love that. Yeah.
Those would be the two, that what you see is what you get, and devoted is a positive way.
Yeah, that's good. Love that. Okay, I'll move on to the next question. So what are the promises God has given you, or what are the deep desires of your heart? So that can be like a phrase, like I said, like one of the words, one of the words God's giving me is like to call out the gold in the people that around me, and to see what the world says is trash, to deem that as a treasure. I want to be known as someone who impacted people positively and lived life to its fullest potential. Yes. So yeah, you can share some of the deep desires or some of the promises or phrases or kind of like mantras of your life, if whatever comes to mind first. That I fulfilled everything I was called to do on this earth. Amen. Amen. That's what we're here for. Okay, so moving on to the next question. What does a perfect day look like to you? So just You can close your eyes or just think like an absolutely perfect day, just like a normal day. What are you doing? Where are you? Like, how do you feel? Who is with you? I love that, Kaylin. I broke the stigma of being a good parent, even with mental illness. Amen. God has made you and all of us overcomers, and that trial becomes your testimony, and like you can help other people through that too. It's amazing. So yeah, to a perfect day. I think like for me, like I just want to be somewhere, obviously with an outdoors, but with a beach. I love the beach. Or with like, I want to live with land. Like I want to have property. Like I don't want to have close neighbors. Yeah, I want to drink my coffee and read and wake up on my own time on the porch every morning. I want to like be able to work like in my dream life, I still want to be helping people and like working, but a lot of just like speaking. And I had a dream, this is a side note, but I had a dream that I was on a stage speaking in Anchorage, Alaska, and it was outdoor stage and there was like mountains all around and like I was the speaker at this like conference thing. And I was just like, anyway, but I feel like that is a desire in my heart. Like I just want to help so many people and I want to build a team and like a tribe and sisterhood and I want quality time with my family and I want to do outdoor things with my kids and my husband. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. To be able to check off everything on my to-do list no matter what it has on it, to be centered in doing work that fulfills my heart. Yes. Yes, life is too short. And like even now I'm doing a job that I don't love. I just like every day I'm like, it just drives me to work hard because like I don't want to keep doing that. Like I want every moment that I have to be doing what fulfills my heart because like you can't get time back. Okay, so next question. What makes you feel alive, fulfilled? Another way to put it is like what brings fire in your belly? Like what do you like love? What makes you laugh? So yeah, you can type out like, it can be random things. What do you love? What brings you joy? Yes, love that. Hitting goals, travel, freedom, and spending time with people who I truly feel connected to. I totally resonate with that. Ashley says, speaking, creating, connecting, helping, coaching others, working out, owning my own schedule, spending time with my family, husband, friends. Yes. Like for me, being outside, like brings me to life. Like I love roller skating, I love hiking, I love swimming. Sweet. Yes, definitely traveling too. Okay, so maybe you've heard this question before, but it's always been one of my favorites. What would you do if you had unlimited resources? Unlimited, so there's literally no cap. Unlimited time, unlimited freedom, finances. What would you do? So for me, I dream of having this, I saw this picture back in college, but it was this, I wouldn't say ranch, but it was like this big castle-like farmhouse and then a horse barn with like therapeutic horseback riding, but it's also just like a hub for youth, and like there's like a dance studio and a workout gym and like place for art, and just like where people can come as like a safe place to like develop their passion, and yeah, just safe place for kids to hang out. Like I want my kids to hang out at my house. I don't know why, but that's like a dream that I have. Like I don't want them like at other people's houses, and I want to create like a fun, safe, inspiring, believing atmosphere, welcoming, that like loves on every single person that comes in. Okay, let's see. Open a dog rescue and having I'm scared I'm gonna not say it, pronounce the name correctly. Caesar Milan, all right? Come work with them. Yes, a safe house for the kids. So yeah, that's what I kind of dream of. Like I want to have a big garden. I want to homeschool my kids, travel a lot with them. Yeah. Summer on charity for those who have been bullied. Give to people in need whenever the opportunities arise. Yes, take my family and friends all over the world. Yes. Start my own conference for female. Okay, maybe I'll speak at your conference. I'm just kidding. Yes, build our dream home, definitely. Yes, I love this. So all these like big little passions, like these are all going to tie in. Okay, this is a cool question. So if someone were to write a book about you and your life, what would they say? So picture this at the end of your life, like not necessarily right now, but like at the end of your life, if someone was going to write your biography, like what would you want them to say about you? Crazy thought. Yes. For me, it's like that I didn't let obstacles stop me, that I didn't succumb to that she defied limits and expectations. I love that. Yeah. I find it crazy, like as I was studying specifically for this talk, I came across the verse because I was talking a lot about hope and faith, and how like faith is that confident belief, and the action that like backs that up for your hope. But it says, there's a verse that says, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. So it's like all three of them are like, those are like the big three. Like that's what life is pretty much about. Like faith, hope, and love can be summed up. And it's like, I want to be known for all of those things. Like I want to be known for the girl that has a dream, like, and for the girl that like calls that dream out of everyone else. And yeah, I love that. Okay. So now I didn't have time to upload the sheet that I was going to, but I just have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's kind of 8 different kind of sections of goals, and maybe you guys have already done this, but if you guys just want to, or I could type them, but spiritual, health, maybe I'll type them. Spiritual, health, financial, career, family, romance, personal, and experience. So I didn't come up with these titles. Ashley sent me this vision board training from Lindsay Matway, and these are kind of the goal headings that she goes through in her vision board course. And I loved it, and I did that today, and I kind of just, I had goals written out, but I kind of put them into those categories, and really helped me. So now I just want you guys to take a minute, and this is something that you guys can do afterwards too, but you can just take a minute, like, what are some goals for 2020? And I love like the pun for like 2020 vision, like eyesight 2020, like you can see in the future 2020 vision. But that's kind of what I want, like this more specific, the better. And one thing that I was listening to her training today that she said is, don't say I want to get closer to God. Like think about specific, yes. Yes. Think about specific ways that you can get close to God and like make that your spiritual goal. So instead of saying, I want to get fit, say, okay, I want to lose such and such a weight, or I want to define my abs or whatever. Same thing for like have a way that you can measure it so that you can check it off, so that you can like be so fulfilled that like you did that in 2020. And so, and some of these too, like it might be a more long-term goal than something that you'll accomplish this year. Maybe it's like a wider reaching goal, but so you can kind of make, yes, yeah, completing bar blend, that's perfect. But just having a tangible way that you can measure this. So instead of saying, I want a deeper relationship with my husband, saying, okay, we're going to have one night away trip a month together, or we're gonna have a date night every week together. Or for me, like, we love listening or like reading books together. Like we're gonna read one book a month together or something like that. Yeah, the same for, kind of all areas. Just try to get as specific as possible, and that holds you accountable. And I was talking to Ashley today about kind of ranking and just, I really want to replace my current income teaching and just kind of like, what do I need to do to get there? And so I'm like, it's even scary for me to like say this out loud right now, but I'm going to be 1-star diamond. And I'm going to be diamond before summit, so that my husband and I have like basically he'll come to summit with me if I'm diamond. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to be diamond by then, but hopefully I'll be further along on that. But so kind of just, and then experience, so personal and experience. So also, I feel like this is kind of accountability for me too, but for all of us as we like share in here. For our personal goals, like I want to start a YouTube channel. And like I've been thinking of that because like I can talk on my Instagram stories for like, there's like 25 bubbles and I'm like preaching practically, and it disappears the next day. And I'm like, you know what? This is like, I feel fire inside me. Like I want this to stay there. Anyway, I feel like it's on my heart. So this year, 2020, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and just kind of share basically what I'm already sharing on my stories. But yes, thank you. I feel very strongly that I'm going to do it. And also just learning from people that are successful, like Kat had a YouTube channel, and some of the other top coaches that I follow have said that they had a YouTube channel in the start, and that kind of drew a lot of their dream tribe too. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And then experiential, like one thing I just like I want to go to Colorado, and I want to go on like a ski trip with my husband. Like he adores snowboarding, and I like it. I haven't done it too much, but I'm athletic, so I feel like I could learn. But yeah, I just like want to create memories and experiences, like travel experiences together. So that's kind of my experiential family goals. So now, give me a minute to write. But I never really thought about it this way, but I'm reading a book by Jordan Peterson, and it's called, we finished it a few weeks ago, but it's called The 10 Laws of Life. And he's one of the top psychologists. He's a professor at the University of Toronto. And basically, when he talks about goal setting, he's like, okay, so now that you have your list of goals, I want you to think in as much detail that you're dreaming in. I want you to think of the negative. And I've heard like, okay, don't think of the negative. But when you feel the emotion, I just saw that to start a podcast. So that's awesome. I will totally listen to that. But when you feel the emotion of that dream not fulfilled, so now think, what will it feel like if I don't achieve these goals? What will it feel like if I don't get diamond by July and I don't go to summit and I don't quit my job that I so desperately want to quit? Like, that's gonna stink. Like, imagine how that will feel if I don't do it if I don't follow through. It's not like it's impossible, but it's like my actions need to back up. I have to have faith for this hope, for this imagination. Like faith needs to partner with that. And so it's like, okay, how will it feel like if we can't take that ski snowboard trip that I want to take? What's gonna stink? It's like, okay, all these dreams, like, what if we can't afford to go away for a weekend every month to like keep our marriage strong? You know, it's like all these goals. It's like, what if I can never have that barn with all these horses in this safe place? You know, it's like, yeah, kind of like worst case scenario. Like, what'll happen if I don't take care of my body? You know, and he has this quote that says, a worst case scenario, you waste your life and you suffer. Either way, it's hard. So it's like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like, if you don't fulfill your dreams, it's going to be suffering. It's going to be hard. You know, it's like worst case scenario, if you don't do this, you'll just waste your life. I mean, that's kind of big deal, but it's like, okay, but either way, it's going to be hard. So if you fulfill your dreams, it's going to be hard work, but not fulfilling your dreams, that's going to be maybe even harder work, harder emotionally, because you don't get all the fruit of that vision and imagination. You won't get to touch it. Like you won't get to experience that. And so, yeah, he was just saying like, okay, if you're positive, I know it is powerful because it's like, it almost makes you want to cry because it's like, just being real, like I want kids, like I want babies like right a year ago. I wanted them my whole life, but it's like, exactly, choose your heart. But it's like right now, like, you know, just with our, financial situation, with my immigration situation, with my job, I don't know, it's just like not really in our minds the right time, but it's like, oh, like, I know Kat had posted something a little while ago about, Beachbody gave them their kids. Basically, she knows a couple or heard of a couple that did in vitro, I think, and like thousands of dollars. Anyway, now they have babies because of Beachbody. But it's like, it's just crazy. All the implications of these dreams are like so much bigger than just like a business. This is like family, and it's like, oh, like I want to start our family, and I have a stepson, which I love, but I want a baby too. And anyway, that's just kind of, so let's see. Health is to drop the rest of my baby weight and begin therapy. Yes, I started therapy in July, or no. I think, yeah, one of those months. No, I think it was more recently. I think it was like September or October, but it has been the best. Like, oh, I love it. And I didn't think I needed it, but I totally needed it. And yes, all the diamonds. There'll be so many diamonds this year. I'm calling it. Yep, so many diamonds. So yeah, then just another quote. Would you rather the pain of hard work or the pain of regret? Like you said, choose your hard. There's going to be pain. What kind of pain do you want? And this is just a side note. I'm probably talking too long, but we were in Charlotte yesterday because I had an immigration appointment. So we drove like 3.5 hours. This was in North Carolina, but our Airbnb host, very like interesting couple, but like so sweet. But anyway, in the morning, I was teaching and then he was up and we were just chatting and he was saying, you know, there was this study and he's like older. He's like, there was this study and they were interviewing all these people in hospice. And he doesn't know me and my belief system or like all that. And he's like, and you know what they said? You know, at the end of their life, all these hospice, not people, but patients, none of them said that they regretted going after their dreams. None of them said they regretted spending time with their family. None of them regretted traveling the world. He's like, but want to know what they did regret? They regretted working a job that they hate. They regretted wasting their time. They regretted not spending the time with their family, not making the effort. They regretted not taking the trip to Disney that they always wanted to take, not taking that trip to Italy that they always wanted to take. And so it just kind of like hit me. This is coming out of nowhere, like, and anyway, so then I was sharing with him some of my dreams and like all that. And it was just such a good reminder though. It's like life is ticking, you know, like it's a guarantee we're all going to die unless Jesus comes back. Like we are all going to die. And so it's like, and we can't get our time back. So it's like making the most of the time that we have, not wasting it. And like, I don't want that. I'd rather that pain of sacrifice and hard work right now than the pain of regret later, you know, because it's like what we're doing now is setting ourselves up for our future self. And so, yeah, so these are just kind of more on the proactive side now, not so dreary and sad. Okay, so now in light of these goals, how is your daily routine going to change? So this is something you'll have to think about. But like, okay, if I'm going to be diamond or 1-star diamond by July, how is my daily routine going to change in order for that to happen? But any of the goals too, you know, if I'm going to make a YouTube or make a podcast, like how is my daily life? How am I going to structure my days to, yes, eat that frog. I just listened to that book. It was so good. Yes, I need to be more structured and focused. Me too. Yeah, and I have to do connections early in the morning. Yes. I need to invite more coaches, more people to the business opportunity for sure. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then 2 questions. So one is, what do you need to start doing? And what do you need to stop doing? Yes, wake up before the kids. Yes. So what is something that you can eliminate from your life that is taking time away from what you need to do, or that's not serving you, that's toxic emotionally, if that's a friend that is making you worse than, you know, I don't know. What are things that you need to eliminate, cut out, and then what are things that you need to add in? So I think we kind of talked about things we needed to add in. Yeah, just waiting for y'all if you have anything else, but yeah, and then just thinking, okay, all these dreams, what is holding you back? A lot of times it's fear. A lot of times it's just kind of, what's that word? When you don't care, it's just like, okay, whatever, I'll just eat the cookie. Self-doubt, limiting beliefs, yes. Yes. And so, yeah, kind of just wrapping this up now, but like the whole, like faith, it wouldn't be faith if you could see it. Like it wouldn't be faith if it was right in front of your eyes, if it was already a reality. And that's what's so cool, that like we have the ability with our imagination and with our words to create the life that we are dreaming of. And so it's like, it's amazing, you know, it's like, it's on us, you know, and God is for us, but he's not going to force anything upon us. He has plans. And it's like, the more we align with him, the more fulfilled we're going to be and the more wise we're going to be with the steps that we take. But it's like, he has plans, but like, we need to be the ones that take action. I'm just reading what you're saying. But yeah, we are the ones that need to take action. And so it's like, this should be very empowering that like, we can create this. Like we can envision this. We were made in the image of likeness of God, which can create things. Yes, we are capable of everything we want to do. Exactly. And so now to the actual vision board. I did mine with Canva, and I have it as like the back screen of my computer. But some people like to do it with like cutting out magazines or printing off pictures and cutting them out. And I was actually listening to a book yesterday by Bo Eason. It's called "There's No Plan B for Your A Game." And yes, I'm gonna actually update mine too on Canva. But the book is called "There's No Plan B for Your Plan A." And he says, even if you're not a good drawer, I want you to draw out each goal, like physically draw it out. So it's like, okay, you see yourself as a speaker. Like I want you to draw out, and I can see it now because I had that dream, but we can think about it, like what does that stage look like? Okay, like what does the podcast office look like? Or what does the dog rescue look like? What does the bullying charity, not charity, but nonprofit, what does that office look like? What does your dream body look like? Yeah, I'm not very good at drawing either, but he said even if it's stick figure, we think in pictures. Like if I say dog, you don't think D-O-G, you picture a physical dog. Like if I say a word, you think of a picture, and like that's how we were created to be. And so that's why the vision board pictures are so important, because it's like, okay, if I said, how many windows are in your living room? Or maybe if I said, how many windows are in your house? You're like, you've never counted how many windows are in your house. But like, okay, if you sit there, close your eyes, okay, 1, 2, you could probably count and tell me. But it's like, we think in pictures. And so that's why we need to visualize our future also in pictures. And how when we have a picture in our head, we are led to manifest that. And it'll be so much easier when we have like the architect designed for the house that we're building. So if the house is our life, and we have that architect plans, it's going to be so much easier to know what steps to take. Okay, bathroom's done. I got to get the, carpet for the bedrooms. I need to do this. I need to get the dishwasher. I need to get the marble. But it's like, if you have no plan, it's just going to be a jumbled mess for trying to get it together. And you're going to waste time and money and frustrated. Yeah, so that's something that I'm going to add in is like physically, I don't think I'll put that on a vision board, or I don't know. I was just going to do it in my journal. I'm like, I want to broadcast my bad drawing skills, but definitely broadcast your vision board. And so maybe, I don't know if you guys have done vision boards, probably most of you have done them before, but kind of just getting pictures that fire you up. So it's like, for me, I have Kim Fitzpatrick, she's like one of the coaches that I look up to. One of her retreats and like her team, like I just like that picture like makes me want to build a team so bad, and like wants teams that align with my passion. And so like I have one of those pictures. I have like a Toyota 4Runner. That's just like my dream car, and like I just want one so bad. And so I'm just like, that's on my vision board too. It's like all these things that like big dreams, small dreams. I have Summit 2020 on there. I have Diamond Retreat on there too. And so big things, little things. But yeah, I'm definitely going to update my my vision board too, and I can post it again. But yeah, so but your goals that you just wrote, and also the answers to the questions that you wrote before that, that's going to guide you to know what to put on your vision board. And so, yeah, make it specific and make it memorable, and like, create, maybe even draw it first and then look for a picture to like match your drawing, or just let your drawing be the vision board. I don't know. It's kind of new. I'm just thinking about it, but I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like even when I was studying in college and stuff, like if I could draw a picture or a diagram, I could remember that. And like, it was more ingrained in my mind, So yes, 30 going on 30, love it. But yeah, that's kind of what I had. And yeah, 2020 is like right around the corner, and it's going to be our best year yet. And just that 2020 vision, and just think of it as this is natural for you. Like you were born for this. This is your design. You function better with dreams than you do without them. Like you function better with vision and goals than you do if you didn't have them. You're just going to be wandering around, unfulfilled, unhappy, like God made you for this, so whatever you have, it's not too big for God. Whatever the dream is, it's not out of reach. So yeah, you were made for this. This is your design. We're going to go get it together. And yeah, and these vision boards, and like, I can just imagine. And so Bo Eason, the football player, he was saying that he got an injury not giving it away, but he got an injury and couldn't be in the NFL anymore. And so he decided he was going to be a playwright and like write plays. And basically he drew in his little journal a picture of the set. And the set, like 10 or 15 years later, he's literally, I mean, he's made so much money on these plays and stuff, but he wrote plays and has all these big time actors in them on the exact, it looks exactly like the picture he drew right before. He never even wrote a word before of any play, and now he's literally performing on that stage. And so it's like there's so much power in our imagination, and like I don't know, it's like we need to use it wisely, but it's like whatever the heart's desires right now, like that's from God. So like trust yourself and believe, because it's like that's what faith is. It's just acting on that hope and belief. And without faith, it's impossible to please God. So it's like he loves our faith, and he meets us in those faith moments, you know. And so yeah, that's kind of what I have. But thanks so much for listening, and yeah, I really appreciate you guys.
That was amazing, Sidney. Like seriously, loved the whole thing. Like from your story to all the tips that you gave us. And I feel like it just, if you guys aren't inspired, I don't know what could inspire you. And I think too, what you said at the end there, like you function better with dreams than without them. When I have a dream that I'm working towards, that I'm focused on, that it gets me out of bed every day. It gets me out of bed. It gets me excited. It gets me feeling happy and motivated. And it's when if I think back to the times when I feel the most low or depressed or sad, it's when I'm not going for any dreams. It's when I'm not believing in any dreams. It's when I'm not having that faith. So thank you for reminding us of that. And I think all those questions that you had, this is something that I would really encourage everyone. Yes, the holidays are busy, but also I always noticed, and obviously I don't have children yet, but even when they're napping and whatnot, during this time between Christmas and New Year's, there is going to be downtime. Even if it's just for one day, you will have some downtime. And I really want to encourage you to work on these questions, to work on your vision, to work on that vision board, because when the holidays are over and you step into January and you want to hit the ground running, you will be ready with that vision that will fuel you through. So that was amazing, Sidney. I'm so glad we got this to record, because everyone should hear this. I know some people had to drop off, but let's get a picture really quickly.
Yes.
And also, this was Sidney's first time speaking on Team Call, and I feel like you were like a veteran pro already. But when you step into what you're meant to do, it shows, it shines. Like all of us have gifts, whether it be speaking, writing, any story that we have. If you're sharing your story and your truth, you will shine through. So, and you guys, we all have it. So let me get a picture of us real quick so that we have that. And Sidney, I did take some videos of you too.
Oh, good.
But all right, everybody look at the camera. Smile. I don't know why I said everybody look at the camera. That was strange. I'm a photographer now. No. But thank you guys for hopping on. Thank you, Sidney, again, so much. I am just so fired up. I can't wait I'll get this recording up tomorrow because it's just too good. And I loved seeing everybody's comments, and I can't wait to see your vision boards too.
Yes.
All right. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Bye.